This is Kilo 4, India Golf Kilo.
Roger, India Golf Kilo, and what's the name?
Handles Don, Delta Oscar November. Worked you a couple weeks ago with my TS-530. Today I'm on my hybrid, the TS-530. And currently running close to 400 watts.
Roger. Don, check your frequency. You might be just a tad low. We're on 7188,000.
Okay, how's that?
Ah, there we go. Sounds better, sir.
These old hybrids drift a little bit.
Roger. Now, did your actual visual representation of the frequency was an error, or you just bumped it up automatically?
No, it drifted. I just happened to, when you mentioned it, I looked over and it was at 0.1 instead of 0.0.
Yeah, Roger. Well, what kind of antenna system are you running, sir?
Today I'm on a 43-foot whip, and I've got a matching unit on it along with a auto tuner. And then my amplifier that is currently running is a AL811H.
Roger. Well, I'm copying you on my local antenna, and you're giving me about a 10 dB over my local noise level. So that's a really good signal. And looking at your audio, your dynamic range is about 3 dB, which is where you want it to be. So that would mean that your average percent of peak modulation would be right at 80 to 85%. Roger.
Yeah, real fine. This is a D104 microphone that I'm using. And I'm going to switch the amp off and see if he's still copying. Okay, amp is off.
You're transmitting without the amp in the microphone, or the amp on the air?
Oh, amp on the air.
Oh, yes, I still have you. What's your location?
We're in South Carolina, on the border of Georgia and South Carolina. The city is North Augusta, which is just opposite of Augusta, Georgia.
Roger. Well, I'm still copying you like 8 over, so you're doing well. I do prefer the amp on, though, so I get the best possible recording for you, Roger.
Well, there you go. It's back on.
Yeah, Roger. And now tell me about that D104. That must be a powered D104, Roger.
That's a negative. It is not. I cut the little amp out of that thing years and years ago. Had some RFI problems. Of course, that was a fault of some grounds. But overall, everybody I talk to, which is not frequent on sideband, mostly I'm on Charlie Whiskey, but most of the folks I talk to preferred it without the amp.
Oh, Roger. Well, I was just saying that usually when you run that D104 element without the amp, that's a very high impedance element working into a very low impedance radio mic front end, and usually they sound like sheet tin, Roger.
Yeah, okay, real fine. Well, for whatever reason, it seems to match this 530 real good. I do have the processor on, so that is probably doing a little bit of help for me.
Roger. Well, I'm looking at your audio on a frequency analyzer and spectrum analyzer, and it looks very nice, really nice. So you have a good curve out of it, as amazing as it may be, and who knows why, but I wouldn't change anything, Roger.
Roger. Well, nope. It's been this way for 30-some years, and of course, I recently graduated up to the 590 because I wanted a little bit better radio and all. Also run a couple SDRs here, but they're not online. They're just individual SDRs that I run, so I can extend my receiving a little bit.
Oh, Roger, yeah, on that compressor, usually we suggest about a 3, just a token amount on that compressor at about a 3, Roger.
Yeah, well, there isn't any adjustment on it. The only thing I got is mic gain, and it's right, it's almost at 4 on this 530.
Oh, Roger, how does it look on your ALC meter?
It's right in the range. It's if I really jump, it'll exceed the ALC.
Yeah, usually we suggest mid-scale to 2/3, but sounding good, sir. Very good. That's an oldie but a goodie, Roger.
Yes, sir. Sure enough, the old hybrids are hard to kill, and I've been, like I said, been real happy with this radio for 30-some years, and it's seen a good bit of action. Anyway, I do appreciate it. Incidentally, you are a good solid 5 and 9 down here, right off of the vertical antenna, so no problems there. Thanks again, and I'll listen for my audio later on in the week. This is Kilo 4 India Golf Kilo.
Roger that. And if you want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, that will take you to our Qso-Vlog page. And on that page, you'll be looking for an air check called My Group Air Check 32720. My Group Air Check 32720, and we should be able to get that uploaded in the next couple of days, Roger.
Yeah, Roger, real fine business again, thanks, and appreciate all the reports there. This is Kilo 4 India Golf, Charlie, clear.
Roger, Roger, and just out of my curiosity, are you running a freak counter on your radio, Roger?
No, it's got a digital display, so there's no free counter on it.
Oh, okay, all right. I wasn't sure how you were seeing that. So you're just the meter is reading correctly as far as the frequency. It just has a tendency to drift.
Yeah, it takes a little while for it to warm up, and once it stabilizes, everything is lovely in there.
Yeah, Roger, Roger. Well, I started my ham career with a TR-4C, Drake TR-4C. So, and as a young operator, I could never stand the half-hour warm-up, and sometimes it was further than that because I used to run a blower. Not a blower, but a fan over the final constantly, and so I guess I aggravated the warm-up time by that blower. But anyway, I love the TR-4C. I was working there. I spent my first 2 years up on 10 meters, so 10 meters for a TR-4C is a real challenge.
Yeah, I never had one of those. My first HF radio was a AT1, and I never had much success with it. That was in my novice years. And then I finally moved up to, let me see what it was. Golly, I can't remember. I was on VHF for a while, and then, like I say, I've had this radio for 30-some years. I've been licensed since 1961, and I can't remember all the radios.
Yeah, Roger, Roger. Well, I can recall as I was studying for my to take my test, and I looked on the internet, and lo and behold, the first radio I came across to look at was a TR-4C, and instantly when I saw that TR-4C, I knew what every knob was, and oh man, it was just a beautiful radio, and I just had to have it. So I tried to get a hold of the guy that was trying to sell it. I tried to get a hold of him 3 or 4 times, but he never responded, so I assume now that he had already sold the radio. But anyway, I went ahead and took my test and passed, and as I was leaving, I just happened to think as I turned at the door, and I said to the examining engineers, I said, would anybody happen to know where I could get a Drake TR-4C? And this one guy says, well, yeah, I've got a deal you can't refuse. I've got one I'll give to you. And he did, and we fired it up over about a 3-day period with, we had like dummy 100-watt light bulbs in series with the AC as we powered it up, and each day we would parallel another 100-watt bulb there, and pretty soon we just bypassed the bulbs and went direct, and that radio worked perfectly for 5 years, Roger.
Yeah, real fine, yeah. Well, no, that's the spirit of ham radio. I think all of us at some point in time have been the recipients of somebody else's, not charity, but just they don't need the radio anymore. The only Drake product I ever had was a Drake 2B receiver, and I used it for a lot of years. And then I finally sold it. As a matter of fact, I had that Drake 2B, and I had a Johnson Adventurer. It was just CW, and I eventually did some screen modulation on it, but I really preferred the CW. But I ran those two radios for a very long time, and really had a lot of fun with them. The 2V was a terrific receiver.
Oh, Roger, your radio has wandered a little bit more. You know, I wonder if you could try, like maybe a little fan on it to keep it cooler, or put some, maybe some additional heat around the oscillator area to, kind of preheat it or keep it warmed up, Roger.
Yeah, it might be. Actually, it's kind of warm here in the shack. It's warm down here today. It's 82 degrees Fahrenheit outside presently. And I have not turned the air conditioner on in the shack, and it's sitting here right at 90, mostly because of this amp.
Yeah, Roger. Do your radio a favor and turn it on. I think you'll, do well. Are you doing all right? Otherwise, being sheltering in place.
Oh yes, yeah. There's no problem. I go to the golf course 3 times a week, and grocery stores when needed. Everything is fine here.
Excellent, excellent. Well, Don, let me say thanks to you, sir. Thanks for checking in. Have a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend.
Thanks again, Jim. Do appreciate it. 73.
Roger. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor and the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you've got a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.